So, what's this family leave bill that we keep hearing so much about?
Yeah, I have to say I'm really excited that Colorado is considering implementing this, because this would be an opportunity for workers across the state to have access to some paid time off if they get sick, if one of their family members gets sick, or if they're welcoming a new child into their home.
Does private insurance already cover this?
There are some workers who have access to some kinds of paid leave, but there aren't very many who have access, especially to things like taking time off if they themselves have a serious health challenge, or if a loved one has a serious health challenge. And so this would make sure that everybody across the state who's been working over the last year can take up to 3 months off, depending on how much leave they need, in order to address their health illness or recover from childbirth or whatever, and be able to pay their bills while they do that.
Why should businesses support this?
One of the interesting things about leave that we've learned from other states that already have a plan in place is that workers are actually more likely to return to work after giving birth or having a serious health challenge if they've had access to paid leave. The workers are more likely to be loyal to that employer, and so they go back to the same employer and stay there longer if they've had paid leave. And workers also tend to be better off. They are less likely to experience poverty. They're less likely to use public benefits like food stamps, and they're more likely to have higher wages 2 or 3 years out after having taken paid leave.
Why should citizens support this bill?
This bill is really about peace of mind, and it's about making sure that we all can take care of our families when our families need us. I know that there's so many of us who are struggling with how to manage childcare, elder care, paying the bills. This allows us to take a little bit of time when a kid is in the hospital, when mom or dad has fallen ill, and still know that we're going to be able to pay the bills, keep a roof over our head, even while we're taking the time to care for our families.
What can we do to support this bill?
Well, I think that now's the time when our legislators need to hear from us. Our senators and our representatives really need phone calls and emails to let them know that we support this bill, and that this is the right thing to do for Coloradans and for Colorado families.
Great. Do we know that this works?
You know, not only do we know that it works, but it's actually so popular in some of the states that have implemented it that, for instance, New Jersey, which has had a plan in place since 2008, 2009, they just voted to expand their program because it's working so well. There are currently 6 other states that have paid leave programs in place, and there are a number of states that are considering passing this bill this year, with Colorado just being one of many.
Is this program going to be vulnerable to fraud?
You know, it's interesting you ask that because it does come up as a question, but the thing is that the states that have already implemented paid leave find that they have very low rates of fraud and misuse. California, which runs the biggest program, has had less than 1,000 cases of fraud and misuse over the last year, and there are really strong safeguards in place so that states are able to tell when somebody is trying to file a fraudulent claim. So I think that Colorado is going to be able to implement those safeguards, and it's likely not going to be a major concern. Okay. So there's really 3 reasons why somebody might need paid leave. One is that they might have their own serious health challenge, a worker gets sick. The other is that a family member might get sick. So if your child ends up in the hospital or mom or dad falls ill, a worker would be able to take time off for that reason as well if they need someone to care for them. And then the third reason is that sometimes we give birth, and so if we're welcoming a new child into the family, we can take up to 3 months off to bond with that new child. So now's the time when our state legislators need to hear from us. Email or call your state representatives and your state senators to let them know how you feel about the Family Act and to tell them to pass this law today.